Shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waha, Wachachodash, Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one only true name is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, because those are the men who I've learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And it's been a minute since I did this lesson, so I'm doing it again. I'm going to take my time in this lesson. And this lesson is going to be titled as Genesis 49 Breakdown. Okay? Genesis chapter 49 Breakdown. And Lord one, this lesson is edifying. And you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And we're going to prove it in Genesis 49, the 49th chapter. The Lord wants us is edifying. This is Genesis 49 and 1. It says, And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. All right, we're in the last days. Okay, we've been in the last days since the Messiah stepped foot. All right, on the earth. All right, that was the beginning of the last days. We've been in the last days. All right, so we're in the last days. We've been in the last days since the Messiah came on the scene. Let's read it again, Genesis 49 and 1. It says, And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. So we've been in the last days since the Messiah came on the scene. All right, when Yahweh Shai stepped foot on the earth, that was the beginning of the last days. Verse 2, it says, Gather yourselves together, and hear ye, sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. It says, Reuben. Now, Reuben, all right, is the tribe of the so-called, is the tribe of Reuben. Reuben is the tribe of the Seminole Indians. All right, that's the tribe of Reuben, as you can see on the list here. Reuben is the Seminole Indians. All right, and it says, Thou my firstborn, might and being, it says, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. All right. Now, out of all the native tribes, Reuben was the only tribe to not get taken down by the U.S. troops. All right. Reuben is the Seminole Indians. They were the only ones that the U.S. troops couldn't take down. You know, they tried and tried and tried and tried, but they kept losing so much of where they were just like, yo, fuck it. We just going to leave them alone. But Reuben was the only native tribe, which is the Seminole Indians, that was not taken down by the U.S. troops. It says, this is verse 4. To read it again, Genesis 49 and 4. It says, Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up into thy father's bed, then defilest thou it when he went up to my couch. So Reuben, you know, he basically had sex with one of his father's concubines. He had sex with one of Jacob's, his father's concubines. All right. Reuben did that. All right. Reuben, he broke that commandment. So that's what that's going into. But Reuben is the so-called Seminole Indians today. That's the tribe of Reuben of the Bible. All right. Reuben is the so-called Seminole Indians. Read that again. Verse 4. It says, Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up into thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up into my couch. So Reuben is the Seminole Indians. All right, as you can see right here. That's the tribe of Reuben. Verse 5, it says, Simeon and Levi are brethren, right? Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Now, Levi and Simeon are the so-called Haitians, as you can see right here. The Haitians is the tribe of Levi. right? And Simeon is the Dominicans. Now, when you look at a map, which I'm going to get right now, they're right next door to each other. All right. When you look at Levi and Simeon, they're right next door to each other. Now, Levi is the so-called Haitians today. That's the tribe of Levi. You know, they're heavy into voodoo. All right, they really heavy in voodoo. All right, Haitians are cruel. You know, they do a lot of voodoo. All right, they be going over there cutting the heads off of the certain people, right? And then cutting their head, killing them, right? And using their skulls, killing them, and using the skulls and selling them to the Levitical voodoo priests. Them Haitians is very wicked, man. They do a lot of voodoo, all right? But mainly, you know, Hades, all right, the so-called Haitians, who are the tribe of Levi and Simeon, they don't like each other. All right, they don't like each other. You know. Let's get back to the precept. This is Genesis 49:5. It says Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty. It says are in their habitations. It says, O my soul, come not thou into their secret, and unto their assembly, mine honor be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their slow it says, and in their self will they dug down a wall. Right. Because, you know, the Haitians the Haitians and the Dominicans, they don't like each other. All right, the Dominicans don't like the Haitians because they're dark. They're darker than them. You know, they don't like the Haitians. All right, so Levi and Shimeon, they don't get along. You know, they live right next door to each other, but they don't get along. They don't like each other. Verse 7, it says, Cursed be their anger, right? For it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So, you know, Haitians and Dominicans, which is the tribe of Levi and Shimeon, they live right next door to each other, but they don't get along. They don't get along at all. They're never going to get along until maybe the Lord come back. Well, actually, when the Lord comes back, you know, everything, you know, will be established in a righteous manner. But, you know, the tribe of Levi and Shimeon, they do not like each other, and they do not get along. You know, they're messed up. So next precept we're going to get is we're going to get that Genesis 49 and 8 out. This Genesis 49 and 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brother shall praise. It says, thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. And everybody praises Judah. All right. Everybody praises the so-called Negro. Everybody imitates Judah. All right. Judah is the top tribe out of all the other tribes. All right. Judah is you so-called Negroes, man. All right. Everyone try to be like Judah. When Judah, you know, with the fashion, you know, you could just look at it. Every time you look at Judah, you know, everyone imitates Judah. Everyone tries to be just like Judah, man. You know, Judah is you know, the top tribe out of all the other tribes, man. All right, and everyone tries to be like Judah. Everybody admires Judah, man. You know, and I'm gonna read it again. This is Genesis 49 and 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. It says, thy hand shall be the neck of it says, thine hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. All right, and this is a future prophecy, all right, which will take place near the near future. All right, by the way, because you know this is close. Judah is the most, you know, slave imitated on the planet. All right, everyone admires Judah, man. Everybody admires Judah. All right, and we're all going to bow down to Judah because Judah is the head tribe. Judah is the top tribe, man. All right, so you know Judah is the top tribe. You know we're gonna, you know, all the when and just for example, when Judah rises up, you be having all the other tribes rising up. You know, Judah is that lion, man, that roaring lion, man. You know, and this is I was at verse 8. This is verse 9. We get to verse 9 right now. And it says, Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey, right? My son, thou art gone up. It says he stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up. All right, and this is pretty much talking about who's the prey in that precept. Who's the prey? Esau. All right, Judah got off on Esau as the prey. All right, and we could prove that in Second Kings real quick. We'll come back to that. It's like it. This is First Kings 11, and let me get that out. Bear with me, Salaki, brothers. Here we go. This is Second Kings 11, and we're going to start at verse 15. This is Second Kings 11. This is First Kings, Salakia. First Kings 11 and verse 15. This is First Kings 11 and verse 15. It says, "For it came to pass when David was in Edom, right, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every single male of Edom." All right. So every single of the so-called white male, all right, the cave beasts, every one of them was killed. When you read in the 15th chapter, all right, they came into the land of Edom, and they stayed there for a whole 6 months. All right. So the whole 6 months, all right, they stayed there and they killed all the males of the Edomites. And that's in 1 Kings 11, verse 15 through 16. All right. So again, going back up to that again, we're gonna go back to that 49 and 9. This is Genesis 49 and 9. It says, Judah is the whelp, right, from the prey, my son. It says, thou art gone up. It says, he stooped down and couched as a lion, and as an old lion, right? Who shall rouse him up? And that shows you, man. That tells you right there. All right. Esau is that prey. All right. Esau is that prey. We're going into, when we went into 1 Kings 11 and 15, Judah got off on Esau as the prey. All right. And that was in 1 Kings 11, 15 through 16. Let's read the next precept. This is verse 10. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. And Shiloh is Yahushai. It says, and unto him shall he gather of the people be. Salakia. All right. So Yahushai, all right, Yahweh Bashimashai is going to rise up Judah, man. He's going to rise Judah up. All right, he's going to make him that young lion. Going back to the 9th verse, your Lord Yahweh Bashimashai is going to rise Judah up. Making him that young lion again. All right, so we're waiting for that day. Once Judah gets roused up, then Benjamin and Levi is going to get roused up. Then Ephraim will once, and then all the other tribes is going to get roused up following after Ephraim. And that's what's going to happen. But this is what we're waiting on right now, man. This is exactly what we're waiting on right now. Because Ephraim is going to join Judah. All right, they're gonna rise up and tear shit up, and we're gonna get a precept for that too. This is let me get out that Zechariah, actually Zechariah 9 and 13 real quick. This is Slakia. This is Zechariah 9 and verse 13. Zechariah 9 and 13. It says, when I have bet Judah for me, fill the bowl, right? Fill the bowl with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man, right? So that's going into that. That's proving that. All right, Judah and Ephraim and Judah are going to join forces. They're going to be together, and they're going to tear shit up too. You know, in that time, this is a future prophecy. All right, and going to Genesis 10, we're gonna go back to Genesis 10, but I was breaking off of verse 9, so that was verse 9. Verse 10, it says, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come." And Shiloh is Yahushai, the Messiah. All right, that's the Shiloh. Shiloh is talking about Yahushai. All right, and it says, "And unto him shall the gathering of the people be." All right, because Yahushai, he comes from Judah. All right, everyone's going to gather under Yahushai. All right. Verse 11, it says, "Binding his furrow unto the vine, and his ass colt unto the choice of vine." It says, "He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes." And this is Genesis 49 and 11, and I'm at. Read that again. Genesis 49 and 11, "Binding his fowl unto the vine, and his ass's colt unto the choice vine," right? "He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes." All right. Binding, binding his meaning Yahweh Shai. All right. And let's go to Zechariah 9 and 9 for that too. That binding is Yahweh Shai. This is Zechariah 9 and 9. It says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt of the foal of an ass." And a colt is a baby donkey. All right, that's what a colt is when you go to Zechariah 9 and 9. All right. All right, so that's what that colt is. But that's the Israelite man. The King Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, Yahushai, he's the only one who has salvation. All right, he's the only one who can save you, who can save us. All right. So when you went into that part where it says, uh, "He is just and having salvation lowly," that's Yahushai. All right, he's the only one that can save us. All right, and we're gonna go to Matthew real quick. This is Matthew 21, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, "And when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem, and were come to Bethphage, it says, unto the Mount of Olives, then sent Yahushua two disciples." All right. Verse 2, and it says, "Saying unto them, Go into the village over against you, and it says, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied," which is a donkey, "and a colt," which is a baby donkey, "with her. Loose them and bring them unto me." All right. So an ass is a donkey, and a colt is a baby donkey. All right. Verse 3, it says, "And if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, The Lord have need of them, and straightway he will send them." All right. And that word aught, it means if any man says anything unto you. That's what aught means. It means if any man say anything unto you. All right. All right. So read that again, verse 3, Salakia. It says, "And if any man say aught unto you," right, "ye shall say, The Lord have need of them, and straightway he will send them." All right. So again, that word aught, it means if any man say anything unto you. Verse 4, it says, "All this was done." This is Matthew 21 and 4. It says, "All this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying." Tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh unto thee, meek and sitting upon an ass, and a colt, the fall of an ass. All right. So this is prophecy, all right, that was made by the prophet Zechariah. All right. Let's read again. I was at verse 5. It says, and the disciples went and did as Yahushua commanded them, and brought the ass and the colt. Right, the ass is a baby it's like an ass is a donkey, and a colt is a baby donkey, and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. All right. So this was a prophecy that was made by the prophet Zechariah. When you read from verse 1 all the way down to verse 7. So that's what that precept is going into when we go back to Genesis 49, and we were at verse I think it was I was reading at verse 11, right? Yep, that was verse 11. It says, binding his fall onto the vine, and his ass, yep, ass is called onto the choice of vine. And we read that in Matthew 21 verse 1 all the way down to verse 7. All right, that's what that was going into. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. This is Genesis 49 in verse 12. It says, his eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Now, you got people, they'll read this. This is what you got to be careful for. Because you have people, they'll read Matthew 49 and 12, and they'll think that it's talking about his teeth being white. But that's not what that scripture is talking about. All right, that's not talking about his teeth being white. All right, that's talking about the sincere milk of the word, right? And it's a lot here too. I believe it's um Isaiah 55 and 1. Salakia. I want to get that out real quick because I want to prove that. That's talking about that his teeth being white. It's talking about the sincere milk of the word. I want to get that out really quick while I'm here so I won't forget. This is Isaiah 55 and verse 1. All right. This is Isaiah 55. Yeah, Isaiah 55. I mean, First Peter 2. I'm tripping. First Peter 2 and 2. I'm tripping. It's like it. First Peter 2 and 2. It's like it about that. Let me get that out. It's like it, brothers. Because I'm thinking about another precept. First Peter 2 and 2. Let me get it. This is First Peter 2. I'm in Second Peter. Damn. Like it, brothers, because I'm turning my scriptures and I'm flipping through the pages. This is 1 Timothy 2 and 2. Salakia. This is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. And this is 1 Peter 2 and 2. So when you read Genesis 49 and 12, it says, his eyes shall be red with wine. The Messiah drank a lot of wine. All right, he was a heavy drinker. That's why his eyes was red, as the scriptures give a description of him. So like he drank a lot of wine. All right. It says his eyes shall be red with wine, right, and his teeth white with milk. Now that teeth white with milk, that's going into 1 Peter 2 and 2. All right, the sincere milk of the word. That's what that is. It's not talking about his actual teeth being white. It was meaning the sincere milk of the word. All right. So that's what that Genesis 49 and 12 was going into. All right. The sincere milk of the word. It says his eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. So that's what that was going into. All right. So that's talking about the Messiah. This is Genesis 49 and 13. All right, we're going to go to Genesis 49 and 13. Just as Genesis 49 and 13, it says, Zebulun shall dwell at the heaven of the sea, right? And he shall be for an of haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Now, Zebulun is the Guatemalans, right? The Panamanians, the Guatemalans, right? To Panamanians. That's Zebulun. All right. This is Zebulun right here, as you can see it. Zebulun. All right. The so-called Guatemalans to Panamanians are the tribe of Zebulun. All right. They're Israelites. They are Israelites. I read again. It says, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. All right. And pretty much until this day, all right, you see Zebulun, who are the so-called Panamanians to Guatemalans. All right, that's who they are. This is Genesis 40. This is Genesis 49:14. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. Issachar is the so-called Mexicans, also called Latinos, are also called Hispanics. All right, that's who the tribe of Issachar is today. The so-called Hispanics. All right, which you see at the bottom, Issachar. All right, and they're very hard workers. It says, and he saw the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto a tribute. And Issachar, they're very hard workers, man. They can work 3, 4, 5 different jobs. That's just Issachar, man. They're very creative. They're very they work a lot. They do a lot of working. All right. Issachar, they really love to work. You know, it's just in their spirit too. This is Genesis 16. This is Genesis 16. Genesis 49 and 16. So like it. Genesis 49 and 16. It says, Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Now we don't know what happened with Dan, but we know that Dan basically is in the midst of all of Israel. They're in the midst amongst all Israel. They mixed into all of Israel. So we don't know what's happening with Dan, but we, through the Spirit, they, mixed in with Israel. They're in the midst of all of Israel. All right, they're in the midst of the 12 tribes. And this is verse 17. It says, Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path, that biteth the horse's heel, so that his rider shall fall backward. All right. So again, Dan is in the midst of all of Israel. He's in the midst of all of us. All right. They mixed in with Israel. So Dan is all in Israel, man. All in the 12 tribes. All right. This is Deuteronomy 18. It says, I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Verse 19, it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. And Gad is the so-called Northern American Indians. All right, that's the tribe of Gad. All right, and Gad, they were taken down by the U.S. troops. All right, that's the tribe of Gad. The tribe of Gad is the so-called North American Indians. All right, they were overcame of the troops. All right, they were, taken down by the cavalry troops. All right, so Gad is going to have the last laugh at the end. We were taken down by the U.S. troops. Going into Wounded Knee, going into the King Philip Wars and the Queen Anne Wars. You can look that up. The Colonial Wars, the Indian Wars. All right, you can look all that information up if you really want to know the history of the tribe of Gad. But Gad is the so-called Native American Indians, which is the Northern American Indians. That's the tribe of Gad today. All right. This is Genesis 49 and 20. It says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. All right, now Asher are the so-called Brazilians to Colombians. all right, to Urangians, if I'm saying it right. That's who the tribe of Asher is, as you can see at the bottom right here. All right, the Colombians to Urangians, if I'm saying it right. That's the tribe of Asher today. All right. It says Naphtali is an hind let loose. It says he giveth goodly words. All right, and the tribe of Naphtali are the so-called Iranians. All right, to Chileans. All right, as you can see right there, right here. That's the tribe right here. That's the tribe of Naphtali. All right. Genesis 49 and 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow, right? Even a fruitful bow by a well whose branches run over the wall. All right. And Genesis 22 is Genesis 49 and 22. All right. Joseph, all right, his name, uh, it would be changed to Ephraim. All right. Because the tribe of Ephraim is the tribe of Joseph. All right. Ephraim was the son of Joseph. All right. So let's read that again. Genesis 49:22. Joseph is a fruit bow, even a fruitful bow by a well whose branches run over the wall. All right. So Joseph, his name will be changed to Ephraim. Ephraim is the tribe of Joseph. All right, which are the so-called Puerto Ricans today. That's the tribe of Joseph. All right. Verse 23, it says, the archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him. And that's in Genesis 49 and 3. So the word Joseph, it means he will add. All right. Ephraim means he is fruitful. So Joseph means he will add, and Ephraim means he is fruitful. All right. So the tribe of Ephraim is the tribe of Joseph. As you can see, that's right here, as you can see at the top. See, Ephraim right here. Ephraim is the tribe of Joseph, which are the so-called Puerto Ricans today. That's the tribe of Joseph. That's Ephraim is the tribe of Joseph. Genesis 49 and 24. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd the stone of Israel. Verse 25. Even by the word of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above blessings of the deep that lieth under blessings of the breast and of the womb. Verse 26. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. All right, Joseph means he will add again, and Ephraim means he is fruitful. But the main thing is Joseph was separated from his brethren. All right, remember his brothers sold him, right? He was separated from his brethren. All right, so Joseph was separated from his brethren. And Joseph, again, the tribe of Joseph is Ephraim, which is the so-called Puerto Ricans today. That's the tribe of Joseph. This is Genesis 49:27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. All right. Benjamin is the so-called Jamaicans today. All right. That's the tribe of Benjamin, West Indians, which are the Jamaicans. That's the tribe of Benjamin, as you can see at the top. Benjamin is the so-called Jamaicans today. That's the tribe of Benjamin. All right. That is the tribe of Benjamin. This is Genesis 49 and 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, as you can see on the side, as you see on the chart. All of these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spake unto them, and blessed them, everyone according to his blessing. He blessed them, and he charged them, and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people, bury me, right, with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron Hittite, Salakia, Hittite. Verse 30, it says, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, it says, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite for a possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. And when Jacob made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet onto the bed, and he yielded up the ghost and was gathered unto his people. So pretty much that's the breakdown of Genesis 49, the 49th chapter. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. So the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. As you can see on this chart, if you are on this chart, you are an Israelite. If your father comes from the seed line of this here so-called Negroes all the way down to the so-called Hispanics, you are an Israelite according to the scriptures. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Till next time I say, Shalom.